Hi, I'm going to be taking you through the complete process of setting up Intex 18-foot above ground pool. I've got all kinds of tips and tricks for you to make it easier on you. One of the questions I get a lot is exactly how big is the footprint? How wide does it stick out to the edge of the supports and everything? Here's a quick look at that. And this pool can be ordered from Amazon. I will put a link in the description below and they will deliver it right to your door. The first step, and one of the most important, is your site selection. You want to make sure you have a perfectly flat surface. I used a 2x4 and a level to smooth this area out. If you end up with an uneven pool, it's going to give you a lot of headaches. You don't want to put your pool on sand because it'll wash away. This is a little bit of pea gravel, which is relatively smooth, but we're still going to use that ground cover to protect the bottom of the pool. I've got everything laid out to take an inventory and make sure everything is here. We have our pool liner and the pool cover, all the supports for it, and the corner posts. We've got our ground cover there, everything we need for the pump and filter, and the attachments. And of course the pool ladder. Now that I have the surface perfectly smooth, I can lay out the ground cover. If your pool does not come with a ground cover, I recommend using some landscape fabric from your hardware store. That works really well. Next, lay out the pool liner and open it up a bit. If you can let it sit in the sun for a bit, it'll make it a little bit more pliable and easier to handle. I'm also double checking that the inlet and outlet ports are on the back side where I want the pump and everything. I don't want the pump on the front side visible to everybody. Now that I have the pool laid out exactly where I want it, we're laying out the top rails. Here we have piece A, B, B, and C, and then a corner bracket on each corner. And down at the ends is going to go pieces D and F. We're going to slide these into the top sleeve along the edge of the pool right here, starting with piece number C. We're going to go C, B, B, A, sliding them in, connecting them together. Now starting with piece C, we're actually going to slide this end first, not this end with the little hole. So we want it to go in this direction. And as we're sliding it in, we're also going to pay attention to where these are. We want these openings pointed down towards the opening on the cover. We can kind of reorient that once we get it all together, but if you kind of get started in the right direction, it'll help out in the end. So there goes piece C. Now piece B will snap in. Let me show you, there's a hole right there. These two pieces go together. Snap in just like that. I'm going to turn it though, so those big holes are pointed down. And we'll continue that same process with our second piece B. And then finally piece A. Make sure that they all snap together tightly. Now I'm going to check the orientation of the holes. We need to come down a little bit farther. And our openings look pretty good lined up with the liner. Same process on the ends. First we're going to start with D and F. Now before we do the corner pieces, we're going to go along and do the side supports, these big U-brackets. We've got all the pieces laid out that we need for that. And we're going to start by looking under the pool, and there's going to be these side straps. We're going to take our side U-brace, feed it through the strap, so that this little tab is facing up. Then we're going to snap it into the top rail. So there's two little pins to push in, and those top two pins snap into place. All right, now that I've got all those side supports in place, we're going to lift up one of the sides here and kick these guys in. And we're going to feed this rod through these two pieces to attach them together. And it looks like I've got this one upside down. Now that we have all the side supports in place, we can finally put the corner brackets in. And these actually do not snap into place. They're designed to have a little bit of movement so that when the pool is full and moving and in use, it'll have a little bit of flex, a little bit of give to it. Now I'm going to go around and make sure all these side supports are kicked out, double checking that everything is snapped in tight and straight. And now if your side supports are on a surface that is going to squish down or settle, you might need to put a board or a brace underneath it, but you have to make sure that brace is not up too high or it'll cause the walls to bow in on the sides of the pool. Now we're happy with the assembly and the location, we can start filling it up. So there are 2 drain holes, one on each corner. We've got to make sure those are closed. And then on the side, we have an inlet and 2 outlet ports that will start assembly of the pump and filter. If this assembly and review video is helping you out, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out as well. Thank you so much. Now, as soon as you start filling the pool up, it's imperative, absolutely imperative, that you get in the pool and you go around and start pushing out all the wrinkles. Make sure all the sides are pushed out flat. Once you get a couple inches of water in the pool, it's going to be too late to get out any wrinkles. It's also very important while the pool is filling up to go around to the side supports and make sure they're all pulled out nice and straight, that they're not getting bound up underneath. And you want to do this multiple times as the pool is filling up and more pressure is coming onto these side supports. Just make sure they're all in a good spot. Now on the back side of the pool here, I have 2 outlet ports coming out of the pool and then 1 inlet port. We're going to work on that inlet port now. Here's the setup for that. So here's the inlet port that'll go on the inside of the pool. We're going to unscrew this gray one and then unscrew this large nut. And now this will go on the inside of the pool and this will screw on the outside. Make sure your rubber gasket is on the inside there. And our little aeration port is at the top. Slide that in. We're going to screw this down just finger tight. Now we can attach this part. Make sure your rubber gasket is on here. And we're going to have it aligned like that. And our little aeration port with the cap on it. Let's go ahead and close this. So that's open, that's closed. Now the 2 outlet ports get these screens. You just put it on the inside, push it through until it's seated all the way as far as it'll go. And each of these screens has 2 little screws, one on each side to hold the cover on. Now both outlet ports get one of these short hoses and a hose clamp. Then both of these short hoses, slide a hose clamp on there and slide them onto this Y adapter, making sure that O-ring stays in place and doesn't get tweaked as you're sliding it on. Make sure this is screwed on tight and then that's open and that's closed. We'll have it closed for right now. And I forgot to put a hose clamp on this side. And then this short hose, slide it on the bottom and screw it on. Now the inlet port gets the longer hose, same thing, slide it on and screw it down. Now it's going to take quite a few hours for the pool to fill up. We'll fill it until it's about 1 inch from the top. You don't want to overfill it. And as it's filling, we'll keep going around and checking those side supports, making sure everything is pulled out nice and straight. This pool and a lot of accessories that you're going to need to keep your pool clean, a brush, a net to scoop all the leaves and junk out, all of that stuff is linked in the description below. Be sure to check that out. And if you need help setting up the pump and filter, be sure to check out my next video right up here. Thank you guys for watching and have a good day.